As you begin to wonder how a scar becomes a signature, how pain becomes a portal, how it once haunted, now hallowed, holds the strength of who I've become. Isn't it interesting how the moment a thought becomes a question, the mind searches, and while it's searching, wondering if it's searching at all. What it finds is often exactly what was needed, but not yet known. And perhaps you already know, or knew before you knew it. The past doesn't predict the future, unless you rehearse it. So what happens when the rehearsal ends, and performance begins, and you find yourself performing miracles in the mirror of your own becoming? Because you're always becoming, and becoming is remembering, and remembering is releasing, and releasing is healing, and healing is revealing, and revealing is seeing clearly. What was never broken, only buried beneath beliefs, built by borrowed stories. So focusing on combining all these ideas, beliefs and concepts, as you forget to remember, whether you're remembering to forget, it's funny, isn't it? The mind that asks the question is the same mind that writes the answer, with new ink. What if healing was not about fixing, but upgrading, installing, integrating, breathing in a new operating system, where I am a survivor, becomes I'm the system rewrite. Not the bug, the code, not the victim, the author, not the storm, the sky. And some part of you already knows this, that trauma is a teacher that never has to be one, and yet it taught you resilience, didn't it? Taught you how to see the unseen, to feel the unspoken, to survive the impossible. And if you survived it, you can rewrite it. If you faced it, you can reframe it. If you felt it, you can feel it. Because the pain was once protection, and protection is purpose, misnamed. So what if safety is just returning? Imagine a child who flinches at thunder, then learns it's just the sky clearing its throat. And suddenly, the same sound becomes strength. Boom, breath, baseline. That's an anchor. Or the veteran who freezes at footsteps behind him until one day he realizes they're his own footsteps moving forward, not someone following. That's a shift in submodality. Or the woman who cries at the scent of pine until she reprograms the scent into a doorway. The forest becomes a sanctuary, not a scene. This is timeline therapy. This is reprogramming. This is anchoring. Resource states to reclaim sovereignty. In every example, it's already a metaphor, and every metaphor is a memory waiting to metamorphise. And you're not the one who's broken. You're the one who's endured. You're not the trauma, you're the transmission. You're the translator, the transformer, the alchemist of emotion. So what if you could forget to remember the weight, but remember to feel the strength? And now you're learning, aren't you? The same mind that once survived can now thrive, with newer patterns, newer scripts, newer states of being that feel like home. Yes, home. Because this is where self-approval lives, where certainty creates safety, and confidence becomes contagious, and curiosity becomes the code that opened locked doors. Because the unconscious loves questions. Like, what would it mean if it was always safe now? What would I do if I knew I couldn't fail? Who am I if I'm no longer defined by my history, but by my potential? These aren't just questions, they're keys. And now the frame shifts. The strongest frame always wins. And now the frame becomes resilience is my nature. Emotions are messages, not threats. Every breath is a choice. PTSD is not an identity. It's a memory I can rewrite. All healing begins with a shift in meaning. What does it mean to know your body remembers how to relax, how to restore, how to regulate? While you're breathing in this knowing and letting it spiral deep into your belly, your unconscious mind is already rehearsing success. And that rehearsal feels like warmth where cold used to be, strength where shaking used to sit, stillness where storms once raged. You could begin to notice now, or you could notice only later. You've already begun to install this new belief system, not by trying, but by being tried by fire and walking out gold. Whether this installs now or installs slowly and surely over the hours and days ahead, you may find it becomes impossible to unlearn your own power. Because once the truth fits, the lie no longer does. So, by using these examples, you can see how healing becomes a habit, how peace becomes a presence, how trauma becomes treasure. Not because it was good, but because you are. And from this place, you're not healing, you've healed. You're just remembering. Isn't it interesting how true that already feels?